This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
All right, I hope you're all doing fantastic. Now, Tyson Fury has said that if Anthony Joshua loses to Andy Ruiz Jr. in their rematch on December the 7th in Saudi Arabia, then any hope of a fight between them two, as in a huge battle of Britain, is off. Okay, it's never going to happen. Now, I'll put an article to this in the description box, so go read through everything for yourselves, of course. Now, to a point, I understand what it is that he's saying, because it's not really a good look, because if Anthony Joshua does lose again, he's going to have to go through that whole building process, isn't he? But for me, I think that because Tyson Fury, he's going to be tied up in 2020 anyway. If Wilder defeats Luis Ortiz, which we imagine that he would, then he's going to be having 2 back-to-back fights with Tyson Fury. So that's going to be Tyson Fury and Wilder out the picture for at least 2020, isn't it? So within that time, Anthony Joshua can rebuild. Because if you look at all the top heavyweight rankings around, Joshua has beaten a lot of them already. So he's only going to be 1 or 2 victories away from being up there again. And that's all it takes is a victory over, say, Usyk, and a victory over, say, Kubrat Pulev or a Kaunaki or something like that, or a rematch with Povetkin or anything like that, then Joshua is right back in the mix. So for me, no, I can't agree with Tyson Fury where he says never, as in it will never happen. Because for me, it's all just about timing. It's all about what it is that Tyson Fury did. Because ultimately, Tyson Fury, he could end up losing to Deontay Wilder, couldn't he, back to back? Potentially. I mean, unlikely, right? But it's heavyweight boxing and anything's possible. But for me, I think that it doesn't really matter what happens with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. That will be a fight that people will always want to see. People want to know who's going to win. Because ultimately, it could just be a case of Andy Ruiz Jr. is just stylistically wrong for Anthony Joshua. Every boxer out there has a boogeyman. Everybody does. And it's just a matter of meeting that boogeyman before you realise that's actually your boogeyman. And maybe Andy Ruiz Jr. is. Ultimately, for me, I think that Anthony Joshua, he will get the victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. anyway. So ultimately, we'll have to cross that bridge when it comes to it. But for now, I think that Tyson Fury, I understand what he's saying, but I don't think it's be a case of never going to happen. It will happen at some point, but Anthony Joshua is going to have to rebuild a little bit. 1 or 2 victories, and then he's right back in the mix. Much like with Dillian Whyte as well. Dillian Whyte, he's already there. A fight between him and Tyson Fury is a mega fight. A fight with Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua is a mega fight, much like Fury and Joshua is also a mega fight for us here in the UK. Outside of the UK, there isn't too much going on, let's be honest. Wilder's just having rematches against old men that nobody really wants to see. And of course, he's going to go fight Tyson Fury. Why? Because there's no chance really, or very little chance, of Tyson Fury actually knocking him out. So that's a risk that Wilder doesn't have to take. So for me, I don't see that there's too much out there in the way of the heavyweight division where Joshua has to go through and start all over again, not at all. But if he does lose, ultimately he may end up changing teams, or maybe not, I don't know. He may just put it down to Andy Ruiz Jr. is all wrong for him, or he's going to have to rebuild. But the rebuilding process isn't going to be several years, not at all. It's going to be a couple of fights, and then he's back in it, and then people will start talking about it again. So, I mean, again, look at Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao took a couple of losses when these guys were supposed to fight. Ultimately, as I said, Pacquiao, he took a couple of losses, then got a couple of wins, then their fight was still mega. So, anyway, I mean, for me, that's just one of many examples. Anyway, drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.